Hello, my friends. We're going to talk about the new moon in Aquarius. Let's get started. It's on February 9th. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see the chart. February 9th, just before 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We won't do the houses as we usually don't because everybody's somewhere and you'll have to adjust to where you live. So we won't talk about the house placements, but I am going to talk about what it means, this new moon. We have this that happens before the new moon. Am I sharing the right screen? Let's make sure I am. Yes, I am. We have the sun squaring Uranus. That's before the new moon. So during the balsamic lunar phase, I'm going to explain what that means. That gives us a great opportunity. Let's just get right to it. First off, February 8th, just before 6 a.m., so a little while before the new moon, we're in the balsamic lunar phase. And when we get to the new moon, it's about fresh, new, and initiating new things. However, I don't want you to forget the prior work. The prior work to the new moon is that last phase. There's 8 phases in the lunar phase every single month. Most people only know 2, maybe 4. That balsamic lunar phase is where we are to spend as much inner time as we can. All this inner time. Look at this. I just want to get rid of that south node for a second. Look at how everything is really condensed too. We've got a bundled chart here for the next number of months. There's a separate video on that. So if you need a link to it, let me know, but just go scrolling through and you'll find it. Super important because we're hyper focused these days between Capricorn and Taurus. Before this new moon on February 9th, the sun will square Uranus, and a few hours later, the moon will also square Uranus. During the balsamic lunar phase, releasing, letting go. Sounds like a full moon, right? Sure. But the balsamic is even more so. It's about going in deep, spending time in your own heart and soul in quietness. If you like to journal, do the things you need to do that help you move through things and that help you contemplate. That is going to be, we have absolutely amazing opportunities with this happening. The sun squaring Uranus and the moon squaring Uranus. Before this new moon, here it is on February 9th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. There it is. Because these are at 20 now and Uranus is 19. So that means this new moon is beyond, but it's still a lingering aspect. So Aquarius, new moon in Aquarius, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and they're connecting. It's a fixed square. So that means that 90-degree angle between these two positions, the new moon and Uranus, means there is stress and some tension. But if you've done the things ahead of time that I just mentioned, sit down, journal, meditate, get in a deep bath, get in some deep yoga, whatever it is that you can just be into one moment in time as opposed to being obnoxiously busy with a million things. That balsamic lunar phase is the most inner phase that there is. It's the quiet before the storm, if you will, in our own hearts and minds and souls. So I know it's not always possible for anybody and everybody to take days off before a new moon, and you don't have to, but I want you to honor that time before the new moon in the way I've just mentioned. So when we come to this point, new moon, 20 degrees of Aquarius, squaring Uranus, and it gives a nod to Pluto. It's a new burst of energy for Pluto because Pluto, just coming back into Aquarius, we now have our focus on Aquarius energy, even though they're 20 degrees apart. It's an opportunity for us to initiate new things once we have done that releasing and that letting go. So important for us to pay attention to. It's also the year of the dragon. I forgot to mention that. I love dragons. I got one in my car, a little guy. I stole it from my grandson when he was like 3. I took it out of his toy box. It's like this big. It's super glued to my car. But the point is that feels magical and unique and different. And that's what this Aquarius new moon can represent. Now, I do have the new moon forecast on my blog. hopefully, if you're on my email list, you'll get to read it. But if you're not, just go to my blog and my website and get on my email list. And by the way, once this gets onto YouTube, this goes on to Patreon first. Just quick advertisement. Patreon, come and join us there. That's where you can financially support my work. I appreciate it. And or have a session. And then the free stuff, once this gets onto YouTube, yeah, lots of you aren't subscribed. That's what I was trying to say. I had a little brain fart there. Please subscribe. It's like 80% of you who watch these aren't even subscribers. So thank you. If you come and do that, I appreciate it. All right. So all of this Aquarius energy, new moon Aquarius squaring Uranus, Pluto in Aquarius, lots of questions we can be asking ourselves. Here's a few prompts, a few questions you could ask yourself if you're not sure yet how to promote and you getting ready for a new moon ritual. So here I would think, are you being seen? That is a question. It's a square between the new moon and Uranus. Are you being seen? Are you where you belong? Are you prepared to breathe fresh, new life into something? That's that new moon in Aquarius. Breathe air. Aquarius is an air sign. This new moon in Aquarius is quite stimulating. So are you being authentic to yourself? Every time I try to do something like this and I try to do something like I have my forecast written out and I try to follow that. These things are always ad libbum. If I try to read my notes too much, I just can't do it. So it's my authenticity. This is what you get. The way I read to you is the way I work. I want to be real. I want you to do real stuff. And I know there's spiritual processes and paths that we need to do, but I don't want it to get so woo-woo that you're just rolling your eyes back. And then when people on YouTube accuse me of being a charlatan, like, y'all didn't listen. I'm very logical, very practical, and very down to earth. This Aquarius energy is a lot of that, but it's analytical more than down to earth, grounded, but they're really close, right? So what I want us to do with this new moon, again, is like this catalyst for you to initiate new positive changes and embrace some newness. Let go of the old ways. I know I'm exhausted by constantly trying to do stuff from the old paradigm, if you will, from the old ways of doing things and my old beliefs. I'm exhausted by it, and I still slip back into those old patterns all the time. Aquarius is asking us to continue to step forward into something new. All right. Now, there's a lot of humanitarian stuff. You'll hear that when you watch any of us talking about Aquarius. A lot of humanitarian causes, and we have a lot to choose from this right now in the world. It is astounding what's going on. And that's something that we can get behind if you're called to do that. And not everybody is. Sometimes people can manage their own world and their own lives and families, and that's it. And that's fine too. Wherever we're called, we'll go. Whatever we're called to do, whatever we can handle, that's what we should do. Because if you overthink things and overprocess things, when we have the new moon in Aquarius and the sun in Aquarius and Pluto, you will get headaches because you're processing it just too much, right? Got to find a way to move beyond that overthinking, overcritical process. Yeah. Now, there are some things with Aquarius too that are more on the, the shadowy side, if you will, because not everything's light, not everything's dark. We need a mixture of both. That is nature, that give and take, that in and out breath of nature, the dark and the light. Some of the Aquarius energy, it can be very aloof and fearful of being in the public eye, fearful of groups, not wanting to share their idea and afraid to be authentic because you'll be judged. These are all valid energy feelings. These are all valid feelings around Aquarius. So with this new moon and the time prior to the new moon, the day or two before, recognize those things if you feel that's, something that is part of what's going on for you, and address it, name it, look at it, face it. Those are the things that we need to do. And then once we do that, then we don't feel like we have to make such radical changes, because that Aquarius energy and that new moon squaring Uranus and even Pluto in Aquarius, we can make radical changes without thinking. And the consequences just, upset the whole apple cart, if you will. And it doesn't have to be that dramatic. It can be if you're fearful of change and you just don't want to address the elephant in the room. A lot of metaphors in that paragraph, right? All right, so there is that. Astrology, anything astrological resonates with the Aquarius energy that's present with this new moon. So if you want to learn teach a new class, I'm teaching a new class. That's not what I meant to say, but it's on my website. We start February 15th. Come on, let's do it. Ask if you need help finding it, or just to see if it's right for you. All the stuff's on the website, but you can ask. All right. Essentially, what else? What else do we have with this? Networking, connecting with new groups, moving into that. I know this is a little bit, we're still pandemic mode, still feels real to some people. Okay. So we're afraid to connect with groups. I want you to start looking into that. That Pluto in Aquarius is requesting it. You don't have to do it yet, but it sure doesn't hurt with this new moon adding to the mix. Okay. All right. What else do I have to say here? There we are. Yeah, I was just checking my notes because I have a few pointers. I don't get to them all. So every astrological sign has that light and dark. You know that. We already said that. Contributing to that, that tapestry of who we are. So play with that. Enjoy it. Recognize where you might feel dysfunctional and take one step towards change. I know I keep hearing this. A lot of you Aquarius, some of you Aquarius, a lot of you Aquarius don't like that newness. I know a bunch of you, I'm a Gemini, excuse me, Aquarius Trine's my sign. So you guys are afraid of technology. It's bizarre to me because technology is Aquarius too. Find something new, do it, do it, do it, do it. All right, there's that piece. And then on a physical level, you guys, you don't have to be an Aquarius for this to impact you, because Aquarius is somewhere in your wheel, somewhere. On the physical level, for some people, this isn't everybody. This is no diagnosis, guys. This is just information that you can use if it's relevant to you. Aquarius rules, it governs our ankles and our calves, as well as like the electrical system. So the nervous system in the body. So if you're experiencing any issues in those things, it's important that they might come up now while the sun is moving through Aquarius, and especially during this new moon in Aquarius, give you an opportunity to initiate something new. Yeah, I don't know if I'll do a card or not. So in conclusion, let's conclude. I think I just did. Question where you're at. Step up and be authentic. Get studying your astrology if that's what you love, or learn some new technology, new software, new technology. Artificial intelligence stuff is fun to play with in some circumstances. Maybe that's for you. That's what we need to do to align with this Aquarius new moon. And that will be really helpful as Pluto over the next 20 years slowly moves through this sign. We have an opportunity now to actually initiate something, to begin a whole new chapter in our lives. Let me stop the share. Let me go look one more time. Is there anything else I want to say here? Yeah, let's redraw this. And I did. I wanted to talk about this. I have another video out to talk about this in the beginning of the video. Hope I did. I'm going to say it one more time. This is called a bundle when things are between 120 degrees. All right. It starts on February 7th, goes all the way through May. I did a big video on it, and I gave you really specific dates because occasionally the moon will come out of this cluster of planets. This just shows us that we have a major focus right now in February and February timeframe. It's with Capricorn to Taurus. And over the next few weeks, as these guys move away, I'll show you. Let's just animate this. It's not doing it. See, forget it. I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to go back to this. As these guys, sorry, that was a blip in my, I'll just leave it in. As these two get out of Capricorn, then the trine aspect will be, it will start, the bundle will go between Pluto and Uranus. And slowly, as we get through March, April, May, the sun, the faster moving planets will slowly come through Aquarius, Taurus, and the bundle will end in May with Gemini. So the trine will be between the sun in Gemini and Pluto in Aquarius. So we have this major, the whole point of this is, there's a 20-minute video about it. You can go watch it. Is that we're incredibly honing in. We're very, very focused on what's going on in our worlds, because only 120 degrees of our charts and the chart in the sky is being activated right now. So that means we're very limited on our focus, but that's less things to think about. So I look at it as a positive. It might not feel positive to some people. However, it gives us that focus. So basically, just after this new moon, when those two other planets get out of Capricorn, we have from Aquarius all the way up there to Uranus and Taurus for a while. And that is just the biggest focus that we have. Find that area in your own astrology. And again, I did another video on that, so go check it out. It's on YouTube. It's here in Patreon as well. Okay, guys, I'll leave us with that. Blessings, everybody. Namaste.